Привет, дорогие друзья! 30 июня 2025 года. Кратко делаю презентацию того проекта, в который мы заходим с brother-in-law. Для тех, кто по-английски говорит, понимает, о чем я говорю. Моей близкой подруги из Лондона, Ханны, которая работает адвокатом в Лондоне, solicitor. Порежу, выложу сейчас очень маленькую часть, представляющую то, чем занимается Алекс. Несколько лет коучингом. У меня тоже есть коучи. Добрая часть моих близких друзей надо мной продолжают насмехаться, но сфера гораздо более серьезная, чем то, что можно было бы поднимать на смех. Для вашей практики ушек настоящего британского акцента музыкант, сотрудник коучинговой компании в Лондоне. Он подробно рассказывает о том, что за компания, как он коучит людей. Люди приходят со всего мира, конечно же, на английском языке, потому что он носитель английского языка. И для тех, кто выбрал себе эту профессию, я думаю, это будет еще более интересно, потому что вы уже внутри этой профессии. Я пока туда захожу как клиент. Мне возможно, что когда-то что-то и в моей жизни поменяется, я приму решение. В конце репортажа мы говорили, сколько нужно инвестировать для того, чтобы отучиться. Мне было очень интересно разобраться с этой темой. Я начала с ней разбираться по-серьезному. Предлагаю ваше внимание. Очень буду рада за ваши вопросики внизу. Контактами я поделюсь. Если у вас есть живой неподдельный интерес, вы можете делать на меня отсылку, писать Алексу, что Катрина Якубовская, вы посмотрели репортаж, вам интересно, и зайти к Алексу на реальной сессии. Все контакты я буду указывать и ниже, и на субтитрах. Не переключайтесь, нас ждет очень много интересных открытий, а я побежала в музыкальную школу к своей крошке, потому что сегодня она у меня сдает экзамен. Стоит жара, лето, 35, и это страшно. Надо жить качественно, проводить лето по-настоящему. Земной шарик крутится все больше и больше. Всем хороших новых впечатлений за лето 2005 года. Пока-пока. Будем на связи.
Hey,
Hey,
how are you?
fine, thanks. And how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Yeah, I'm really good. Let me just hide me because
It's incredibly hot here. It's really heat wave, impossible one.
oh no. How hot is it?
They promised plus 40, and it's not possible to support really.
Oh my goodness. What are we at here in London? It's 30.
30. Here it's over 30, 33, 34, and it's going upper, and it's really scaring, it's scary.
Wow. It's so tiring.
Yeah, it's very tiring, yeah.
Yeah.
At night, cooler, maybe 25 at
You-
night.
oh, that's all right then.
Yeah, if you open all the windows, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm recording it and I will cut it later, maybe for
it's fine. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's probably talk a little bit about your professional activity because I'm
Sure.
really impressed. I'm impressed.
Okay.
I've got 3 coaches now. 3.
3.
Yeah. 3.
Wow. What do they coach you on? So what are the 3 different things? I'm guessing they're different
Yes,
things,
they
yeah?
are for different purposes. Yes, yeah. Health coaches, because
hmm
I got some issues like closer to yours,
hmm
well, some years ago before
hmm
you started coaching. And
hmm
another one is like you, but we are connected professionally. Her
hmm
kids are in my classes. Eva is also in my French class. Coach, she has got 4 kids.
Oh, wow. And what does the third coach you on?
It's really about my timing, about my
Right.
time management,
Yeah.
about my projects, because
Yeah.
I've got plenty of them, but
hmm
to get them to the final purpose, final
hmm
stage,
hmm
it's always a question for me. Several times I thought
mm
it could probably be my activity, but I didn't take it serious, honestly
mm
speaking. And
mm
probably that was good. It's better, even if I decide someone, I'm not sure I will, even if you decide, it's better to be a client at first, to
hmm
understand how does it work, what kind of engagements it
Yeah.
requires,
Yeah.
and only then make a decision. Well,
Yes, exactly. That's what I did as well.
hey, I
Yeah.
didn't know that you were a client first.
Yeah. So my backstory, I suppose, when I started, I was at an impasse in my career, and I'd just been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. And it was a really horrible time of year in 2022. My mother had passed away in 2021, and I'd been told I was at risk of diabetes, but I ignored it. I ignored it.
Honestly speaking, a year ago, it was my case. I was told by
Mm,
one of them which is that
mm,
I'm risky to get it.
mm.
And I
Yeah,
was scared. It
yeah.
gets scared.
I was more scared of losing my comfort because I was in a good job.
Mhm.
and I didn't want to mess up anything. And so I thought, well, I'll be fine. So I ignored it and ignored it. And then I also was quite a lot heavier than I am now. And
I do remember. Do you
yeah, I
recall
was a
this
bit
situation?
heavier. And so well, quite a lot heavier actually. But I then decided that when I got my diagnosis, that I had to I had to change, but I didn't know where to start at all. And I didn't even think about my health. I was thinking about my job. And a friend of mine, it had gone from the same kind of commercial role that I used to do into she became a therapist, psychotherapist, and she trained for 4 years, got a degree, and then she was doing really well, and was a completely changed character because she was very stressed when we worked together, and she was like the opposite. It was like really zen, calm, listened to everything, just had a really nice aura about who she was now. And I remember being like really like panicking, kind of, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? And she said to me, "Why have you ever thought about going to see a coach?" And I was like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine." And she said, "Why do you say that?" And I said, "Because I can deal with it myself." Which was kind of I had this kind of stoic attitude that I had to be if I couldn't, then I was a failure. And she said, "Well, do you know what it is?" And I said, "Well, it's a bit like what you do, isn't it? Like therapy." And she went, "Not really, no. No, not really therapy. It's very different actually. Have a look into it." And so I was quite stubborn and I didn't look into it until I got the diagnosis and I realized I was kind of hit rock bottom really. I was like, "Oh, what do I, something's going to have to really change. I don't know what I'm going to do." So I went and found a coach. And honestly, in the first session, it was like a switch had been switched in my head that that there was because I'd always had goals that were massive. So when I was diagnosed with diabetes and the doctor had said, you do need to lose quite a lot of weight, and I'd said, kind of, oh, I will, and by next year I'll run the marathon. And there was no chance I was going to run the marathon. I was out of shape, couldn't run for a bus, let alone the marathon. And so I decided after the session, I understood what kind of goal setting was really about, which was, I'm sure you're aware, it's rather than looking at massive goals, going into kind of stepping stone goals. So how can you go 1% better than you were yesterday? And so I started thinking about that and working towards that. And I decided that my health was the first thing that I needed to focus on. And so I started getting up I didn't have any time. I was working very late, early and, getting home very late and very stressed. And so I thought, and a phrase that comes up regularly for me now is when I speak to my clients, my coaching clients, they say, "Oh, I can't find the time." And then, and,
Exactly. Yes.
so then we work on a strategy to how can we make the time because nobody can find time if they're busy, but they can make time if they're busy. So for me, it was making time before everyone else got up. So I would get up at 5 a.m. and I'd go to the gym and work out for an hour and come home and then I'd look after my son and get him ready for school. But by then I'd already done an hour's workout, and slowly but surely I started to see some physical changes. And then that also kicked off something which I hadn't had for years, which were endorphins, because I was really quite
Those
miserable.
are my endorphins. Yes, I've got the
Yeah,
list of producing endorphins
yeah.
in my
I was
body.
very, I was fueled by cortisone because I was always stressed and always really anxious about what if it all went wrong. But actually, when I started exercising, I had all these happy thoughts going on, which made me happier and was really weird because I hadn't had it for so many years. And then that led on to another. Well, then I got told that I was going to have my role increased at work, and I didn't want it. I didn't want to work there. So I made a decision. Well, after some coaching sessions, I realized that I loved what the coach was doing, and I was thinking, this is exactly what I want to do. How do you do it? So I asked the coach, how do you get into this? And he said, well, the way to do it is to go and train and, become qualified in coaching because anybody could be a coach because there isn't any real regulation.
I don't
However,
mind. They are qualified. They are
yeah, yeah,
certified.
exactly. So, but he said anyone can be a coach. However, if you really want to take it seriously, the way to do it is to go and train with a credible coaching school. So I did. So I found one. I did like a tester session, loved it, and I signed up. And then I went in to see my boss when he was giving me my new job, and I resigned. And I started training, and that was it.
How are you looking for clients, and how do you succeed in looking for
So I qualified in 2023.